Making headlines tonight. Prime Minister Hun Sen said the execution of the Khmer Rouge leaders was justified while reflecting on how Vietnam mobilised its army to attack and overthrow the regime of the Cambodian People's Republic. In 1977, when the Khmer Rouge took over Cambodia, Prime Minister Hun Sen was struggling to liberate the country. He had 4 options to choose from, but Alternative chose to cross the border to Vietnam to seek help at the risk of his life instead of just waiting to be killed by Pol Pot. US President Joe Biden took a spill on his bike on Saturday as he stopped to greet supporters during a weekend trip to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. At least 25 people were killed by lightning or landslides over the weekend in Bangladesh, while millions were left marooned or homeless in low-lying northeastern parts hit by the worst monsoon floods in the country's recent history, officials said. And finally, a star-studded movie in the Mother series, When Mum Gets Old, premiered last week on Tuesday the 14th of June. The premiere was attended by various celebrities in the industry, as well as the Under Secretary of the State of the Ministry of Culture. This is the Daily Roundup on EAC News Channel. A very good evening to you. I'm Anthony Ellis. Prime Minister Hun Sen has said that the execution of Khmer Rouge leaders was justified, while reflecting on how Vietnam mobilised its army to attack and overthrow the regime of the Cambodian People's Republic. The Prime Minister made this remark while speaking at the historic site of Kot Tamo X16 in Mamut District, Tabong Kamon Province, on the occasion of the 45th commemoration day of the historic journey leading to overthrow of the Pol Pot genocide regime on Monday morning. EAC News reporter Deccan Nin has the details.
Prime Minister Hun Sen stated that for many years, Vietnam and the Cambodian People's Party were painted as having led an invasion to kill Cambodians. However, the Prime Minister said that through the establishment of the Khmer Rouge Tribunal, established by the United Nations Security Council and the Royal Government of Cambodia, the court was able to successfully convict Khmer Rouge leaders, revealing the truth and giving justice to Vietnam and the Cambodian People's Party.
ហើយបើចង់ដឹងថាតើកងទ័ពវៀតណាម ធ្វើអន្តរាគមន៍សងគ្រោះប្រជាជនកម្ពុជាខុសឬត្រូវត្រូវទៅសួរតុលាការកូនកាត់អង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិនិងកម្ពុជាតើសាលក្រមតុលាការកាត់ទោសពលពតមានន័យដូចម្តេចនេះជាការទទួលស្គាល់ដោយអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិតែម្ដងថាទង្វើរបស់វៀតណាមត្រឹមត្រូវ The
Khmer Rouge Tribunal began its work in early February 2006 and has thus far completed 4 cases, including Case 001 on the former Coast Line Prison Chief, Kaing Gek Ev, also known as Dut, Case 002/01 on Kieu Sampon and Nguyen Chia, Case 004/01, dropping the charges against Hom Jaim, and Case 004/02, dropping the charges against Ao An. The extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia is scheduled to close by the end of 2022 after more than 16 years of operation. Dekanin, EAC News.
In 1977, when the Khmer Rouge took over Cambodia, Prime Minister Hun Sen was struggling to liberate the country. He had 4 options to choose from, but Alternative chose to cross the border to Vietnam to seek help at the risk of his life instead of being waiting to be killed by Pol Pot. EAC News reporter Dashona Guchin has more details.
Speaking at the 45th commemoration day of the historic journey leading to the overthrow of the Pol Pot genocidal regime on Monday morning, 20th June, Prime Minister Hun Sen said that he had 4 choices at the time. The first option was to use the armed forces under his control, a large brigade of more than 2,000 people, but to use force and gain control of Memot, Snuol, and other neighboring areas, which was a risky choice. The second option he had was to cross the border to Vietnam by withdrawing and reorganizing the retaliation. The third option was to do nothing and let Pol Pot capture and kill him like everyone else. And the fourth option was to commit suicide.
ខ្ញុំសម្រេចចិត្តនឹងជ្រើសរើសយកជំរើសទី2គឺឆ្លងកាត់ទៅប្រទេសវៀតណាមដើម្បីរៀបចំការតស៊ូសារជាថ្មីឡើងវិញព្រោះបញ្ហានេះ มันเหมือนจะปัญหาทำไมทมองเราบอกกับวิจิตรีกาลปีเรากล่าวรัฐประหารบุญป้อมประโบรจัดสับสำนักพระนรมเสนุก็ทลอบบานปึงเปะจอมพวกเจนจอมพวกเวียดนามดาวใบนังรบดอกปฏิเจงปีระบอบล้วนดลท้องได้จอมปัจจุบันการลำบากขณะการสำนักจัดจุ่มเรือยกจุ่มเรือนี่ป่าตัวใบชี้จุ่มเรือนี่ชี้จุ่มเรือแต่จอมตรึกบานคือเรือผลตายเวียนเมืองการลำบากนะการจะเจงปีเมืองตะภูมิเจ้าประพุนได้เมืองตีพวกพรำแคร์มันแม่นจะเรื่องเล่งซอยสำหรับยุวชนมันเนี้ยได้เมืองอายุตรำแต่มาพยปรำช้ำแต่ปนกก็ผลตายการชบดอชอบเอาได้มือตกเอาผู้ปอลปอดสำหรับหรือก็เตยเพื่ออัตเคียดมันแม่นเชื่อจมรึกละอทุกทีตัวใบจะกระไรสังคมตรำแต่มวยพี่ร้อยหรือตัดเชื่อนุก็จำเตยแต่เพื่อกาดามใบเพื่อสกัดมาเพียบแต่ตามมาไว้ได้บ้านเพื่อรุ่นมาหายโดย
At the end of 1978, Vietnam sent its volunteer troops to join the Cambodian United Front for National Salvation to overthrow the Khmer Rouge genocidal regime, enabling Cambodia to guarantee the right to life, which was the starting point for national development until today. Darshana Gauchan, EAC News.
The Vietnamese Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh has thanked Cambodia for helping its Vietnam gain its independence in 1975 and its continuous development to date. EAC News reporter Decca Nin has more.
Speaking at the 45th commemoration day of the historic journey leading to the overthrow of the Pol Pot genocidal regime on Monday morning, 20th of June at the historical site of Gotthmore 816 in Mơ Một District, Bông Khmông Province, Vietnamese Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh spoke about the long history of Cambodia-Vietnam relations. He said that this relationship between Cambodia and Vietnam is one which provides benefit and help one another. He gave mention to Vietnam's contribution to Cambodia in the fight against foreign colonial rule, as well as Cambodia's support for Vietnam's independence in 1975. He also recalled the use of force in Cambodian territory in the overthrow of South Vietnam. He said, the patriots of the Cambodian Revolution have sacrificed flesh and blood to help the Vietnamese people who have a tradition of sincerity and love. The Vietnamese people always want to remember this and will give the Cambodian people our best regards, sincerity, and love. The Vietnamese Prime Minister further thanked the Cambodian government and people for helping Vietnam gain independence, as well as for the country's continuous development to this day. Vietnam gained independence from France on the 2nd of September 1945. However, due to the effects of the Cold War in the 1950s, the country became divided into the communist regime of the North Vietnam, allied with the Soviet Union, and South Vietnam, allied with the United States. With the help of Prince Norodom Sihanouk, North Vietnam was given permission to utilize Cambodian territory in the fight for national unification, which allowed the North Vietnamese army to conquer and occupy South Vietnam and reunify the nation on 30th of April 1975. At the end of 1978, Vietnam sent its volunteer troops to join the Cambodian United Front for National Salvation to overthrow the Khmer Rouge genocidal regime, enabling Cambodia to guarantee the right to life, which was the starting point for national development until today. Dekanin, EAC News.
If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
US President Joe Biden took a spill on his bike on Saturday as he stopped to greet supporters during a weekend trip on Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
He appeared to be uninjured after standing up immediately. "I'm good," Biden, 79, said after the tumble, which occurred in front of reporters. "I got my foot caught up," he said. The president, who was wearing a bike helmet, said the toe cages on his bike should be removed after his foot got caught before he could steady himself. Later, Biden spent several minutes chatting with people who had gathered to watch him bike. Biden and the First Lady, Jill Biden, were finishing up a morning bike ride in the Gordon's Pond area on the Delaware shore. They marked their 45th wedding anniversary on Friday.
It's like any other job. Some parts are easy, some parts are hard.
Joe, happy Father's Day tomorrow.
Thank you.
Happy anniversary.
You feel like it's hard? When you're president, will you remember me? I would love it.
Take a picture. Maybe you'll be future president. Thank you, Mr. President.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
You see it, man. Did you really? I ride up to the apartment, the place Bo likes best in the whole beach. That bench up there is dedicated to her. Check it out. Well, so good to see you.
So good to see you.
Too.
Thank you very much.
God, keep doing the great work.
All right.
The White House said the president did not require medical attention. As the president said, his foot got caught on the pedal while dismounting and he is fine, said a White House official who did not wish to be named. The president looks forward to spending the rest of the day with his family.
All right, guys. See you.
French President Emmanuel Macron lost control of the National Assembly in the legislative elections on Sunday, a major setback that could throw the country into political paralysis unless he is able to negotiate alliances with other parties. Macron's centrist Assemble coalition, which wants to raise the retirement age and further deepen EU integration, was of course to end up with the most seats in Sunday's election. But they will be well short of the absolute majority needed to control Parliament. The near final results showed. A broad left-wing alliance was set to be the biggest opposition group, while the far-right second, record high wins, and the Conservatives were likely become kingmakers. Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire called an outcome a democratic shock and added that if the blocs did not cooperate, this blocked our capacity to reform and protect the French. A hung parliament will require a degree of power sharing and compromises among parties not experienced in France in recent decades. There is no set script in France for how things will unfold. The last time a newly elected president failed to get an outright majority in parliamentary elections was in 1988. The results in our risk for our country in a view of challenges we have to face, Prime Minister Elizabeth Borne said, while adding that from Monday on, Macron's camp will work to seek alliances. Macron could eventually call a snap election if a legislative gridlock ensures. At least 25 people have been killed by lightning or landslides over the weekend in Bangladesh, while millions have been marooned or homeless in the low-lying northern eastern parts hit by the worst monsoon floods in the country's recent history, officials said.
In the neighboring Indian state of Assam, at least 17 people were killed during the wave of flooding that began this month, police officials said on Sunday. Many of Bangladesh's rivers have risen to dangerous levels, and the runoff from heavy rain from across Indian mountains exacerbated the situation, said Arifuzzaman Bhuiyan, the head of the state-run Flood Forecasting and Warning Center. Thousands of policemen, army personnel, have been deployed to parts of the country to help search and rescue efforts. About 105,000 people have been evacuated so far, but police officials estimated that over 4 million were still stranded. Syed Rafiqul Haq, a former lawmaker and ruling party politician in Sunamganj district, said the country was facing a humanitarian crisis if proper rescue operations were not conducted. Almost the entire Sylhet-Sunamganj belt is underwater and millions of people are stranded, he said, adding victims have no food, drinking water, and communication networks were down. Regional officials said about 3.1 million people were displaced, 200,000 of whom are staying in government-run makeshift shelters on raised embankments or on other highlands. Bangladesh and India have experienced increasing extreme weather in recent years, causing large-scale damage. Environmentalists warn climate change could lead to more disasters, especially in low-lying and densely populated Bangladesh.
Now let's have a look at the weather and you can expect for tomorrow. And finally, a star-studded movie in the Mother series, When My Mum Gets Old, premiered last week on Tuesday the 14th of June. The premiere was attended by various celebrities in the industry, as well as the Under-Secretary of State of the Ministry of Culture. EAC News also attended the premiere and got the glitz of all the glamour of the film industry.
The premiere was attended by various celebrities in the industry. There were snacks and drinks provided to guests before the event began. The Undersecretary of State from the Ministry of Culture gave a welcome speech and said he was glad to see so many had come out to support the film industry now that the government has gotten COVID-19 under control. He also praised Bonpung Wapa for being a model for women and their strength, as she both wrote and directed this movie. Tai Song, the CEO of Gongcha Pictures, expressed pride that his company, in partnership with MCNV Pictures, produced this film and said that he hopes the public will come to support it in theaters. Gongcha Pictures said it is committed to innovating in the Cambodian film industry. Bonpung Wapa said she has been happy to see her work get continuously produced and respected in spite of her age, and this experience provided her inspiration to write and direct this movie. This is the third movie in her Mother's series, which started with A Mother's Heart and proceeded with Modern Mothers. This movie was based on her acclaimed novel published in 2019. Although the topic of the film may seem simple, every family can understand, relate, and talk to each other about it.
ស្ដាប់ចំណងជើងវាដូចសាមញ្ញទេចាពេលម៉ែចាស់ទៅតែពេលម៉ែចាស់ទៅមានរឿងអីកើតឡើងរឿងនេះត្រូវបានការជជែកវែកញែកគឺថាទាំងគ្រប់គ្រួសារដែលបានឆ្លងកាត់ដែលមានម្ដាយវ័យចាស់ហើយនឹងកូននៅក្មេងប៉ុន្តែកូនខ្ញុំគាត់និយាយពាក្យមួយឃ្លាខ្ញុំគិតថាក៏អត់ខុសដែរថាពេលម៉ែចាស់ទៅកូនក៏ចាស់ដែរចាអញ្ចឹងយើងចាស់ទាំងអស់គ្នាគាត់តែចាស់តាមលំដាប់លំដោយម្នាក់យល់ថាខ្លួនមើលហើយខ្លួនបានយល់ផ្លាស់ប្ដូរទស្សនៈផ្លាស់ប្ដូរការគិតហើយផ្លាស់ប្ដូរការប្រព្រឹត្តរបស់ខ្លួនទៀត
Nin Sotira, an actress in the movie, echoes this sentiment as she reflects on her journey with her mother and herself as a mother.
កាលពីក្មេងក៏បងពេលខ្លះបងគិតដូចក្មេងឥឡូវដែរចាលំអៀងចំការគាត់ល្អខាងប្អូននេះទៅក៏គិតថាគាត់អត់សូវស្រឡាញ់យើងអីដូចគ្នាអូននិយាយទៅពីក្មេងរហូតមកដូចគ្នាដែរដល់ពេលយើងចាស់ទៅយើងខ្លាចជាម្ដាយគេបានយើងដឹងថាមិនមែនទេឪពុកម្ដាយការពិតទៅពេលកូនណាដែលអត់សូវមានការគិតច្រើនគឺគាត់បារម្ភពីកូននឹងច្រើនជាងតាមពិតទៅគឺគាត់ស្រឡាញ់ស្មើតែគ្នាទេអូនចាហើយសម្រាប់កូនបងក៏សំដែងរឿងហ្នឹងទុកឲ្យគាត់មើលដែរ
Yitmir Osa, also known as Edwin, played Udom in this movie. He was happy to be a part of this film because he has worked with Won Pungbopa before and considers her as a mother figure as well.
រឿងនេះមិនមែនជាលើកទី1ទេសម្រាប់ខ្ញុំគឺជារឿងទី4ទី5ហើយដែលខ្ញុំបាទមានវត្តមានជាមួយគាត់ហើយខ្ញុំមិនត្រឹមតែជាតួសម្ដែងទេខ្ញុំក៏ធ្លាប់ធ្វើការជាមួយគាត់ដែរខ្ញុំធ្លាប់ធ្វើ assistant director ជាមួយគាត់ធ្វើ AD ជាមួយគាត់ធ្លាប់ធ្វើការខាង production និយាយបានថាខ្ញុំហៅគាត់ថាម៉ែទៅហើយគាត់ក៏ហៅខ្ញុំកូនដូចគ្នាចំពោះគាត់អ្នកខ្លះអត់ដឹងពីគាត់គាត់ថាគេថាគាត់កាចថាគាត់មករកមកអីតែបើចំពោះខ្ញុំតែខ្ញុំដំបូងខ្ញុំមានអារម្មណ៍ដូចគ្នាប៉ុន្តែស្គាល់គាត់កាន់តែច្រើនស្គាល់គាត់កាន់តែយូរទៅតែមានអារម្មណ៍ថាអូតាមពិតគាត់ថាគាត់ស្ដីអីយើងគាត់ចង់ឲ្យយើងល្អតែពេលដែលយូរទៅគាត់អាពាក្យសម្ដីដែលគាត់ស្ដីគាត់ថាយើងមានអារម្មណ៍ថាយើងកាន់តែស្ដាប់កាន់តែចង់ស្ដាប់ព្រោះគាត់ពេលដែលគាត់ថាទៅគាត់ធ្វើឲ្យយើងចេះមកកម្រិតទៀតយើងខ្លាំងមកកម្រិតទៀតអញ្ចឹងណាចំពោះខ្ញុំមិនថាខ្ញុំស្រឡាញ់ចូលចិត្តគាត់ហើយទុកគាត់ដូចជាអ្នកម្ដាយរបស់ខ្ញុំអញ្ចឹងក្រៅពីអ្នកម្ដាយបង្កើតរបស់ខ្ញុំ
Min Sonita was excited to join this film because she wanted the role of Pisay as soon as she read the script. She hopes that many people will come to watch this meaningful project.
ដំបូងគឺមានអារម្មណ៍រំភើបខ្លាំងមែនតើដែលបានចូលរួមក្នុងខ្សែភាពយន្តមួយនេះព្រោះថាជាខ្សែភាពយន្តមួយដែលដាក់ជាប់នៅក្នុងដួងចិត្តផងនេះខ្ញុំចាបន្ទាប់ពីខ្ញុំបានអានហើយអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំសម័យថាខ្ញុំនឹងបានលេងនៅក្នុងខ្សែភាពយន្តមួយហ្នឹងពីព្រោះថាយ៉ាងហោចណាស់ក៏យើងបានបង្ហាញក៏ដូចជាទង្វើមួយសម្រាប់ទៅដល់បងប្អូនទុកមើលថាជាគំរូផងដែរព្រោះថាសាច់រឿងមិនថាតិចមិនថាច្រើនទេក្នុងគ្រួសារនីមួយៗតែងតែមានចាប៉ះពាល់លើសលួសទៅដល់អ្នកម្ដាយឯងអញ្ចឹងចង់ឲ្យបងប្អូនទាំងអស់គ្នាគាត់មកមើលហើយគាត់កែសម្រួលកែខ្លួនចាដើម្បីធ្វើអ្វីដើម្បីអ្នកម្ដាយខ្លួនឯងនៅពេលដែលគាត់នៅមានជីវិតផងខ្លួនឯង
The premiere also featured a lucky draw for fans to win different prizes from Xiaomi. Khmer boy band Zeno also performed, and the stars also held a photo op with the fans. When Mom Gets Old is playing in all cinemas across Cambodia.
Thank you for watching the Daily Roundup here on EAC News Channel. For more breaking news and updates, check our website eacnews.asia or search EAC News on Telegram, Smart TV or your favourite app store. More from the EAC News team tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We'll see you then.